It's Mixed Media Tuesday today and time for a new art journal, and after popular demand, today I'm going to create something by using only old supplies. When I'm talking old supplies, look what I found. Now these are tissue wrap rolls that I had in my drawer for ages. I used to play with them a lot, and they are probably 10 years old. If you have seen my very old art journal videos, you have probably seen me using those a lot. So what I used to do back in the day was to cut out a piece and start with that. So this is a great starting point because it breaks that blank page and it gives you something to start with. And at this stage, you don't really need to have something in your mind or a focal point or where this page is going. Just tear off a part of this tissue wrap and just stick it down. I'm not sure if this is still available. In any case, if you want to create something similar, you can definitely use magazine papers or newspaper, or definitely use some scrap paper that you have in your stash, like scrapbooking paper. So here I'm sticking it down with rice paper glue. You can use mixed media glue or whatever you have on hand. And then of course, after this is down, I am going to use my scissors to cut out any excess. And now of course, don't throw away any leftovers. These are great to start one of the small journal pages. Now for example, I'm going to keep all of them and I'm going to use those for my pocket journals like so. So I'm going to put everything aside and let's work on the double page now. So this is quite vibrant for a background. I always like to keep my backgrounds kind of subtle when it comes to stamping. So for this, I am going to do a step by using my primer. You can definitely do that with white acrylic paint or you can use your gesso. I'm going to spray both pages with water and then I'm going to apply a very light wash of my primer. This is going to prime the page so that it can take any type of medium that I'm planning to work on top, and at the same time it creates kind of a subtle look of the background. You can still see all the details, but they are definitely not so prominent. They are kind of subtle now. And now you can stop here, or you can dry it like I'm going to do now and then apply a second wash, or some areas you can add even more white so that you can cover up completely some of the designs that you don't like or you feel like they are very prominent. It really depends on what drags your eye at that moment. So after finishing this part and drying completely that primer, I decided to play with Distress Oxide sprays. So I grabbed 3 colors here and I'm going to show you how you can contain the mess so that you don't end up with oxide spraying all over your craft room. I like to use 2 pieces of paper. You can use scrap paper for that, or kitchen towel paper like I'm doing here, and then I'm working inside the box. So I'm going to use first the blue color. You will find the exact colors that I'm using linked down below along with the rest of the supplies if I can find them. Remember, today I'm working only with old supplies. Now I'm spraying a little bit of green, and then you can see how lovely it moves. It goes all the way to the center. So I'm going to use my paper towel and just kind of pick up the extra from there so that it doesn't go inside the book on the other pages. And finally I'm going to add a little bit of that purple. That purple is just a little bit, but it really makes a huge difference. And you can see how all that can move and blend. I am going to move it around until I'm happy with how it looks. You can definitely leave it to air dry. I don't have that patience. When I'm working, I just want to go ahead and do the next step. So I'm using my heat gun to make sure that all that spray is completely dry. And you see, as I'm drying it, I'm kind of moving the ink wherever I want to. Now everything is dry, I'm going to move on and do some stenciling. For that I'm using a baby wipe and I'm just going to wipe off some of the areas through the stencil. Remember, oxide ink reacts with water even when it is dry. So absolutely love the background and how it looks. It's time to do some stamping. You can see lots of details from the background, but I want to add some black stamping on top. So I'm using stamps from the Etcetera stamp set. Again, a very old stamp set by Tim Holtz. One of my favorite stamps that I keep on using again and again is this one. I love the typography on it. It comes with bigger and larger letters, and I like to use this stamp all around my page. I don't go exactly everywhere, but I kind of create a black border, like so. So I am going to repeat that throughout the page, and then I'm going to bring in a circle stamp. I like to mix circles with text, and I'm going to stamp all over the place as well. Again, I'm not going to overdo it. Remember, I already have interest features on my background. Now I'm inking up the edges with black oxide ink, black soot, and I'm happy with how the background looks. Let's add a little bit of stenciling with paste. For that I'm using my volume paste, but this jar is completely dry. Anyway, I'm going to do my best. I don't want to throw it away. So you see that in some parts it doesn't really transfer, but I absolutely love the result, so I'm just going to go with it. Again, really randomly at this stage I don't know what my focal point is going to be. After all, this is kind of a very colorful background for my standards. Usually I go more subtle, so I need to find something for the top that is going to really make a difference and pop against the background. So we are going to talk a little bit about that. I decided to go with dies, and I'm going to use these dies by Sizzix and Tim Holtz, again very old ones. And I thought that in order to help any element pop against this colorful background, it would be fun if I use black. So I'm planning to cut those out from black cardstock, but let's ground them somehow. I don't want those to float on my page. Again, I'm using a very old pattern paper pad by Tim Holtz again, and I'm going to just tear off a piece so that I can place it down and be kind of my ground. Just tear off a little bit from the bottom, and I'm going to stick it there. So use whatever glue you have to stick that down. I went with my Nuvo glue just because that was what I had on my table at the moment. You can definitely use your mixed media glue for that. I always like to use my craft knife and cut where the spine is. This way I know that the pieces of paper are going to stay put. I'm also using a very old washi tape. I believe this is by Owl & Create. And I'm just tearing off a piece so that I can embellish that ground a little bit more. So let me chop off any excess, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut out all the dies from black cardstock. This way I will have lots of dies to play with, decide on the composition, and of course I'm not going to throw away the rest that I'm not going to use. I'll just put them back in the envelope with the rest of the dies. And now super simple steps. All I have to do is to just stick those on top of my page. Don't overdo it with glue. Trust me, these pieces are not going to go away. They don't want to escape your page. I have found that many people use a lot of glue, which transfers lots of moist in your pages, and your pages end up being quite wonky, wavy. In any case, I avoid using a lot of water or transferring a lot of water when I'm doing my projects. However, you can see in this journal I use a lot of sprays, and it was a lot. You could see it moving up and down. However, the pages are very flat. I'm working on my watercolor paper journal. This is one from my own signature collection, and I designed those specifically so that the pages are nice and thick and mediums don't bleed or make the pages very wavy. So let's move on and try and find something to stick on. Again, I'm using very old supplies. This is a very old sticker booklet by Tim Holtz, and I went with 2 words. So I'm going to put together happy thoughts, and just because these stickers are quite old, they don't really stick and they are moving around. That's why I'm making sure that they are going to stay in place by using some glue at the back. And now I'm going to use my white gel pen. I'm going to outline the 2 words, and then I'm also going to add some highlights here and there on the flowers. I am not going to overdo it, just a few lines here and there will do the trick. And I'm going to finish it off. You already know by now, if you're following me, how I'm going to add some white splatters. Now keep in mind, these are not going to stay as bright as they look. I am using white calligraphy ink, which kind of stays relatively bright. However, I do have oxide inks underneath, so they are going to kind of blend, but you will still be able to see them. So that was the project for today. I hope that you had fun, that you got inspired to use what you already have in your craft room. Here are some close-up photos where you can see the details better. Links to everything that is still available can be found down below in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.